Hey, what's up guys? Mike Patrick, and in this video, I want to start this one by saying, do you know what's around the corner? Do you know what's around the corner? Now, I asked that question, guys, because I was out shopping a little earlier today, and I ran into someone, and that person stopped me and started asking me a lot of questions, basically trying to manipulate and sway me into doing a certain thing, okay? With my life, all right? Now, this is the thing, guys, okay? No man brought you into this world, okay? No man is responsible for you being in this world, okay? Now, we have our parents, but they're not responsible ultimately for us being here, okay? And we are here for a reason, all right? Now, many of us choose not to acknowledge our reason for being, okay? And many of us just choose to just simply exist, to simply just survive, okay? But this is the thing, guys. God, the Most High, has a purpose for all of our lives, okay? And my purpose may be different from yours, okay? That's why I would never try to sway someone. I would never try to convince anyone on what they should do at any particular point in time of their life, because I have an understanding that the Father puts us here for different reasons, okay? And my path may not be your path, okay? And 9 times out of 10, my path is not your path, okay? So, therefore, it's not for me to try to advise someone to do a certain thing with their life. The only advice you can give someone in life, guys, is do the will of the Father, okay? Wherever the higher power is that you acknowledge, okay? Whether you call him the Most High, whether you call it God, okay, source, whatever, you have to do what you are here for, okay? Because if you don't, then it doesn't matter anyway, okay? Because at the end of the day, the Most High will always win out, okay? So, to live in a state of just existing, to live in a state of, just surviving, okay, that's also showing fear, okay? Because if you're not willing to do what the Father has you to do with your life, then you're going to lose it anyway, okay? One way or another. All right, now many people are fearful throughout life, and so therefore they're just in a survival mode. But at the end of the day, guys, we're all going to die one day, okay? So it's nothing to try to hold on to try to secure, okay? You have to live, all right, guys? If I was to die today, okay, I feel like I did all that I could do with my life to make my life fulfilling for me within my means, okay? Now, if I was a billionaire or a millionaire, there's other things I would have done, okay? But I made the best, if I was to go today, I made the best of my life and my opportunity. I maximized my potential, okay, based on my resources, all right? And then I can go and say, you know what? I have no regrets, okay? I didn't live life scared, okay? I didn't live life trying to survive just to end up dying one day anyway. All right? Same thing with children, guys. When you do talk about, people want you to focus on what they want you to focus on, okay? As if things are a certain way or have to be a certain way. That's the whole point of change. See, people want you to accept circumstances and say this is the way it is. No, things are the way they are based on people collectively, with a hive mindset, believing in a certain way. The minute people start believing differently and being the change that they want to see, then people start to change, and then it's a collective, and then change happens. But nothing is set in stone, okay? And don't allow people to try to make you think that things are just the way they are, and that's just the way it is. Okay? We have the power to affect change. All right? Now, to get back to do I know what's around the corner is the question that the person asks. So, you know, I guess that once again, I know for a fact that's basically just a fear tactic that people can use and do use, you know, always trying to project the future. And that if you don't do certain things a certain type of way, then this is what's going to happen. So, no, I don't know what's around the corner, but why was it was said in a way to try to make me think that if I don't do something a certain way, there's something bad around the corner. Well, I believe there's something great around the corner, okay? And as long as I'm doing the will of the Father and what He has me to do with my life at any given time, okay, then it's going to be great things around the corner, okay? And if there is trials and tribulations around the corner, if the Most High allows it, then I'll go through it, all right? But for future generations, guys, and for people, just even if you're older, if you're younger now, okay, don't allow people to try to project the outcome of a failure or a negative outcome or fear. Don't let them try to project fear on what could happen. Just like things could happen that's bad, things could happen that's good, okay? And so don't allow people to try to instill fear in you, okay? Live your life day to day, okay? And walk with the Father, all right? And you do what the Father have you to do that day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next week, the next month, and years to come. You always walk with the Father, and you have faith in the Father. And then you know whatever is around the corner, it was meant for you, okay? So what we have to do as we become, so if you someone around my age bracket, okay, as we become the elders, okay, one of the things that has to go is the projection of fear in our children, okay? This life is meant to be an experience, okay? It's not something to try to hold on to. Now, you know, because what I mean is, I'm not saying like go out and do something that, you know, like live life recklessly. I'm not saying that. What I mean is you have to look at the big picture. Like if you was 90 something years old on your deathbed, don't you want to know that you lived your life with purpose, with meaning, you know, that you was of use, that you affected change, you know, that you affected, you know, a positive outcome, okay? Because you can't take anything with you and you can't preserve this life. And when it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. So it's nothing, okay, to fear, guys, all right? Live your purpose and trust in the Father, because man will try to manipulate you to do what man wants you to do. And then there's forces behind man that manipulates them to do what they do, okay? And there's always an agenda. All right, guys? So don't ever, for fear, not do the will of the Father, okay? And what makes you fulfilled, okay? And what gives your life meaning and purpose, okay? Because there's no point of being miserable, okay? And not having any purpose and just surviving, okay? You know, and you're just going to die anyway. Make your life mean something, okay? You know, leave something behind for your children to build on, okay? And I'm not just talking about material, okay? Because if you're doing the Father's will, you will be taken care of, all right? And so, no one can guarantee the next day that they'll wake up tomorrow, okay? You have to do your purpose and your will, all right? You can't project what's going to happen in 10 years. You just can't do it. Okay, now I'm not saying you don't plan for the future. I'm not saying you don't take the future into consideration. But you do have to live day to day, because it's people who live their life trying to set up certain futures, right? And then the same person that does that may not wake up the next day to ever make it to that future. Okay? And a lot of times that's because they're not doing the will of God, all right? So do the will of God, okay? Have no fear, okay? Don't let anyone try to instill fear or a negative projection on you, okay? If you're doing the will of the Father, you will be fine. All right, guys? And that's going forward in the future. Peace. Hopefully this was a helpful, encouraging video.